So, hey guys, this is in fact going to be a major disadvantage to Discord, just like how the age verification is in fact a major disadvantage to pretty much Roblox, as both of them in fact a social platform, and if anything affects sociability or pretty much talking to another user, it's pretty much going to kill the platform, just like how Roblox is pretty much slowly being killed by the age verification, as they believe that doing this will in fact make it a lot more safer, but in reality, it doesn't make it safer whatsoever, as that we already proven that pretty much anyone and their grandmother could in fact easily bypass this via opening up a Death Stranding 2 game made by your homeboy Pete Kojima and pretty much get a beautiful face of good old homeboy and then pretty much just use that in order to basically be bypassed as an adult because Kojima knows how to make really realistic games to the point where that he can in fact trick AI, which is absolutely insane, which they somehow cannot detect the fucking monitor lines, which is also insane. So I don't really think this is gonna work out, and I feel as if Discord should in fact back down before they in fact cause further damage, because we know for a fact, right, just like Roblox, an alternative will in fact be the ultimate replacement to these social media platforms. For example, Roblox, I've noticed that the replacement would be a game called Polytora. Discord could be a platform like TeamSpeak, which does have the age verification, but however, it might maybe be a little bit too complicated just to open up and pretty much use. So I believe that eventually in the future, if this if I go down this route and keep on adding to it and pretty much force people to go through with it, well, they're pretty much gonna add they're pretty much gonna be opening up their market to a potential competitor to pretty much steal all the Discord's users, and then pretty much use them users in order to simply just overtake and eventually dominate Discord as to be the ultimate platform just to use for sociability. But however, there's one potential fix, and that potential fix could be, which is Discord that is wanting to do if you don't want to do the age verification, is that Discord is in fact going to stalk you via pretty much using all the data that they could get off you. Like, for example, how you chat on Discord, what you say, basically how you interact on Discord, to pretty much what games you actually play. And if they simply as if those activities seem to be what an average adult does, then in that case, it'll be pretty much put your account on pretty much an adult account, even though you don't need to do the age verification, which is absolutely terrible, by the way, as this is pretty much the ultimate way in order to basically bypass it and pretty much allow anyone to pretty much access age restricted channels, despite the fact that they're underage, as that pretty much people could in fact figure out how to in fact trick the AI into thinking like, oh right, I'm totally an adult and I'm acting like an adult thing on Discord, and people try to trick the AI into thinking like they're an adult so they can access the age restricted channels of sorts. And this is actually quite funny, as Privacy Folks' age assurance is quite ironic, as that Discord, of course, went through a data breach. This, in fact, data breach was, in fact, caused by the Discord ticketing service, as pretty much people submitted their IDs to the ticketing service because they wanted, in fact, get their accounts unbanned or they get their accounts revived. Basically, they want to do all these types of things, which, in fact, require an ID, so they pretty much send their IDs to Discord, especially for age verification, for the ticketing service, and of course Discord promised, right, that they will in fact delete these tickets in a timely manner, which they did, by the way, as that they pretty much kept some of them while others are in fact deleted. Of course, the no text to speech, of course, in fact made a very detailed video based on the whole breach at hand and what Discord didn't do right. But basically, just to sum that up, Discord in fact promised the users in order to basically delete their data, which didn't really happen, and instead, right, just kept the data for who knows what nefarious purposes. And they did what they're gonna do this via having on-device processing, where basically gonna use video selfies for facial age estimation that would never leave a user's device, which I do not trust, by the way, unless there's a Wireshark analysis or a network analysis behind this, just to see if any data is in fact sent out, and if so, what type of data is in fact sent out. If the video selfies are sent out, then it could be a potential danger, and it could be pretty much Discord breaking their trust between their users and pretty much themselves, as that they probably pretty much promise that it's going to stay on their devices. However, in the background, it's pretty much sending over to an AI on a different server, which, by the way, the company is kind of like a grey area, as that we don't know what happens to that data. We don't know if they keep it, sell it, or pretty much delete it. We just don't know what happens to it, except for the fact where we get a promise that pretty much quote unquote the data is deleted, the videos are deleted, but in reality some of them are not really deleted. And of course these was it age verification tools and of course age verification companies are a nice company on basically a nice target to, especially for hackers, to not only steal data but also to steal IDs also for ID verification. So pretty much, yeah, pretty much on device processing would in fact be a good idea. But however, it's easy bypass if you open up a nice Death Stranding 2 game made by Pete Kojima to pretty much use my homeboy main character, which I totally forgot the name of because I haven't ever played Death Stranding 2. But apparently you can in fact use the main character's face and then pretty much use the controls, the camera controls, in order to basically complete it. And then after that, right, it's actually right that the quote unquote the person is 18 and over, and this is basically being done over Roblox. So if Discord decided to in fact implement this, then pretty much the same methods used in order to bypass this on Roblox could in fact come over towards Discord, and I wouldn't really be surprised whatsoever. With of course quick deletion to basically identify documents submitted to our vendor partners are deleted quickly in most cases immediately after age confirmation, which I do not trust. Probably only because other companies who basically do other things, like for example, social media companies that of course need the age verification. Even though they say right, they delete it nice and quickly and then make sure it's deleted quickly, in reality, right, we know that when they rarely check, they just implement it so they could be allowed in the UK, allowed in certain other countries, in fact, allow the age verification or basically enforce the age verification, and pretty much, well, sometimes in that process they pretty much have to agree to contracts which basically kind of like allows them to pretty much keep the data. So it's kind of like a grey area, and we need to in fact like, have definite proof of that instead of just having word of mouth, because I could just say right that I'm totally going to delete your picture of your ID, but then in reality I will not be deleting your picture of your ID and then just proceed to pretty much use that ID to just commit nefarious purposes. Because trust me, governmental documents are one of, if not the most valuable documents, since with a governmental document, you can do anything that you want. And of course, the person who got that governmental document stolen will be without suffering the consequences instead of you if you of course use a VPN. Straightforward verification. In most cases, user complete the process once and the Discord experience adapts to their verified age group. That kind of sounds like Roblox. I wonder how they're doing with it. Yeah, no, it doesn't really work as well. People put in the wrong age verification group. People cannot communicate with each other. People are literally just stuck in their own age verification bubble and pretty much not really allowed to communicate, and basically causes them to basically communicate off platform, which Discord wants because basically if it happens off platform, that means by that Roblox ain't at fault here, and therefore Roblox will have no fault whatsoever. Because, like, for example, if like someone met someone over Roblox and then moves over to Discord, basically then when it moves on to Discord, Roblox doesn't have any fault at hand, and they'll keep on saying right they don't have any fault. Even if the child is kidnapped, they still don't have any fault if it moves over Discord as such. With the of course private status of the age verification status can be seen by other users, which is okay. Like that's kind of like a normal thing with all others. Like they just don't show it because of privacy reasons. And of course, they said right that there will also be direct messages from the Discord official account, and that it'll be told them, oh yeah, you're assigned to this age group, and that if you want to, of course, reappeal it because you're in the wrong age group, you can in fact go to my account settings and then go to here to appeal it. But of course, what just like Roblox is in fact going to open up a black market for people to basically sell accounts to post these age groups, and we go like how are they going to do it? They're basically going to open up an account. They're going to do all the stuff they need to do. They're basically going to go to the age verification, trick it into thinking that they're in a certain age group. Then basically just sell the account off. Pretty much, this ain't going to help people whatsoever. In fact, this is going to make it a lot more dangerous. As just like Roblox, this will in fact allow adults to in fact buy these accounts to pretty much to basically talk to children and such. And of course, right, people are going to figure out what is in fact the best age group to basically join, just like Roblox, so that they can in fact try to in fact achieve that via, of course, methods in fact easily bypass this without trying to give out any personal data or information. And of course, it's gonna start early March. So of course, it's February now. March is about like, of course, like we have February 10th. March is about like pretty much a month away, like half a month away. So pretty much it's running out of time, and eventually Discord is not gonna allow you to communicate for some reason. And of course, right, so March, all new and existing Discord users globally reside a new default setting that's both age appropriate experiences or keep privacy in front of center. So pretty much what they're gonna do, right, is what does that say, right? Is that they're pretty much gonna change all your settings, even if you have the most peak of the peak settings, so that is pretty much an age appropriate experience. And in fact, if you want to change this, you have to pretty much go for the age verification. Like for example, content filters would basically need to be, if you want to in fact disable it or basically on blur sensitive content, you need to be age assured as an adult. Same thing goes through age gated experience, age gated spaces, where basically if you want to access these age restricted channels, servers, or app commands, you have to in fact be age assured as an adult. Message request inboxes are basically gonna be a new thing. But however, it's been this way for a while. But basically, all your basically what is it? Messages as such. Like for example, if you check out this one, like it was like all these like spam messages with have been sent to message requests, which basically is kind of like a spam filter where you can go through them and accept them or decline them. Mostly, this is where basically spam messages basically go to if you want, so that you can make sure that you don't get filled with spam whatsoever, and actually make sure that you get DM from people in the same server as you and who you basically communicating to. So it's in fact like a really useful process, really, just to have the message request system. But however, now this is in fact going to be defaulted as that people who they don't know who they are basically routed to this message request inbox by default. And if you want to modify it, you have to in fact have to be age assured as an adult. Friend request alerts basically be receiving a nice warning prompt from friend request. So pretty much every single other friend request that you actually get is pretty much gonna be followed up with a warning, which even if you know them, it's kind of weird to be honest. So like, I just don't really get it. Like, if you don't know them, just don't add them. It's kind of common sense, really. So I don't know what this is, and I don't know how this may actually work. If it's kind of gonna be an annoying thing, then like it might also just be removed. But if it's kind of like a thing, like in the top, like kind of like a notification, go like you don't know this person, just don't add them, like that, right? Then like sure, it'd be actually good. And also something that doesn't really make sense because there are voice chats, which is basically stage restrictions, which of course some people in fact use in order to basically speak on the stage. For example, if you want to host a meeting over Discord, you will in fact use a stage restriction as that people who are basically the viewers will not be able to talk, but however are in fact allowed to chat in the chat related to the stage. And of course, the people who are on the stage are in fact allowed to pretty much talk in the whole VC. It's a nice thing to have and a nice feature to have, especially for meetings. And now I basically only age assured adults may actually speak on stages and servers, which is kind of like a weird thing since now the bypass will be just to host a VC and then pretty much mute everyone like server wide by default, and then make sure right that people who basically only communicate on it, or basically aka who are mostly going to be talking on it, will be in fact right be allowed to in fact talk in the VC, while everyone else is basically muted server wide or basically muted in that particular VC. So pretty much all these don't really make sense. All these are quite stupid, and especially for the last one, since it just feels so random for some reason. Like you just pick the stage restriction because apparently the stage restriction is a lot more dangerous than speaking to people in a voice chat, which is really weird to be honest. With of course having a giving teams a seat at the table to introduce the Discord team council. I think we already done this before. It's called Roblox. They literally just copy Roblox and what they did and just hoping to God it actually works out. But in reality, if they open up their fucking eyes, it didn't really work out, especially when right that Roblox started to do this team council, which in reality, right, we don't know where it gone, how it worked. Basically, it's kind of like as if right, like, what Roblox did was just announce what they're gonna do a teen council so that they can keep the platform a lot more safer. And after that, they just stop talking about it. And then after that, they just erase all their old content because they think like all your content are terrible. Who cares about legacy? We're in a new legacy. The legacy starts right now with the AI and the Arthro, which now by Discord is in fact copying by introducing the Discord Teen Council, which is now only being hosted in what is it? The US of A. Yes, that American ass company wants in fact teens from America instead of across the world in order to simply allow them. It's kind of like the same thing over here as in Roblox, as I want to do one in both US, Canada, and Mexico. I wish I could have done it across the whole world so that it could be a lot more diverse. Because if you focus on a couple countries or one country in particular, it's gonna definitely like make sure that certain cultures will not be allowed on Discord, which is absolutely insane. They're gonna do it on deep safety. I wonder where we heard that from. Keir Starmer. And you know what he did for safety? He made sure that he's the parent now. And that's what all these other platforms want to do. They want to make sure that they're the parents of the children who are aka users of the platform. And basically, right, basically the teen council will basically consist of 10 to 12 teens to basically ensure what Discord understands, not sure what teens need, how they build meaningful connections, and what they make them feel safe and supported online. Or aka basically give them fucking common sense instead of basically allowing cup porn on the what is it? The Discord, because we know for fact, right? Discord is filled with people who love cup porn, and of course, by embedding diverse teams' perspective directly to decision making, the council also help Discord safety features protected while balancing team privacy and autonomy. Council info basically be the future. Basically, like the team council will basically make sure that the platform will be a lot more safer, especially for teens. And hopefully, this will, in fact, might have an actual effect instead of like Roblox, where you just said that they were gonna announce it, we're gonna have it, and then they just stop talking about it and they just stop mentioning about it. And of course, right, interested teens age 13 to 18 can apply to participate in the teen council at the link here, which let's in fact right check out the nice link. So pretty much right, you have to be 13 to 17 years old and living in the US. So pretty much one country this time. It got from three countries to one country, and now there's not really any point because the fact right, it's gonna be easily biased by basically all the people, or okay, all the teens living in the US instead of being diverse across many other countries, which they should have in fact done. Here's what they want you to know that Purge Discord is not going to require everyone to complete a facial scan or upload an ID to use Discord. No, we just don't want to do that. But we just want to make your life quite annoying to the point that you pretty much going to give you that you're going to make it super annoying, and we're going to continue to make it even more annoying to the point that the only way to in fact use the platform or in fact make it your account is to have an ID with you, and that the massive majority of people can continue to use Discord exactly as they do today, which is kind of like a fucking lie without ever being asked to confirm their age, which is also a kind of like a lie if you select on, of course, these Discord age restricted channels, which if you select them without doing a facial estimation, you'll pretty much not be allowed to in fact see what's in there without pretty much the use of VPN. Yes, you can in fact bypass this with a nice VPN to a country that doesn't have this, but however, this is spreading globally, so pretty much gonna be fucked no matter what part of the fucking earth you're at. But then you go like, however, you need to be an adult to access any restricted experiences, like servers and channels, or to basically modify certain settings. So basically, like, you do not need to do anything. You can just still use it as is, but technically, we're just gonna make sure that we're gonna force you to do some shit because honestly, we don't trust you. And that we're gonna make sure that you please our investors, because trust me, pleasing the investors is a lot more better than pleasing the fucking player base or the community, because the community doesn't matter. It just matters of how much money that they can in fact take in. Especially when you could just kick out the Discord CEO and bring in a new CEO that is more interested in money than ever. You fucking morons. And of course, within the digital confirmation part, you'll offer multiple privacy forward options to the trusted partners. These are not trusted partners. These are just how they're gonna do it. That facial scans never leave your device, Oh, for the second double dot now. Okay, so and this was another day. How does content safety filter work? The Discord content safety filters are part of the broader Teen Safety Assist and safer by default approach. They help to reduce exposure to certain categories of potential sensitive image-based media, especially for teens where you're not allowed content because you don't ban that shit. Discord and they got like mature sexual media filter, which basically helps us to identify visual media that becomes sexually explicit or suggestive material involving adults or minors, and pretty much especially for minors, they basically get reported to pretty much Discord. Discord basically bans the account without a reason. Quote, without a reason, but in reality, it's basically posted CP. Then it gets reported to the authorities, and the authorities going for the nice arrest. But we don't know if Discord actually reported to the authorities, just like how Roblox reports all their predators to the authorities. When even if the authorities say like that the inbox is quite empty recently, especially when Roblox doesn't report anything because they want to try and please investors, just like how Discord wants to please investors, and this could potentially be opening that Discord could potentially be public in the future if they're gonna go down this route. With of course Graphic Media Filter, which basically helps us identify image-based media that becomes violent or just disturbing visual material, and pretty much bans it. These videos are applied to images and video. They do not scan text messages, voice, or calls. But however, we may actually scan your activities just to see what you do, just so that we can verify that you're actually an adult, minor, or whatever the fuck you do. So, yeah, pretty much like it's gonna be on by default. They're gonna continue to scan what you need to do, and that they're pretty much gonna continue to do this until you're found by doing facial exclamation or an ID, which basically definitely locks it in. But if it's in fact incorrect, you can basically do it again and again, and pretty much get the right age group, which in fact might pretty much gonna divide people even more. And it's just overall a really confusing and quite stupid thing that pretty much Discord is in fact gonna do in order to kill their own platform, and in fact cause pretty much people to basically switch over to other platforms like TeamSpeak or other Discord like clients which basically don't have this stupid feature. So yeah, stay safe.